A man sits upright on his bed. It is late at night. He stands up and walks towards a nightstand. Inside the drawer is a gun. He walks outside, taking one last look at the night sky before he pulls the trigger. Some time later, we see a moving truck at the same house. Kent and Steph have moved in here with their children, Jack and Gabby. The parents are unpacking while the kids bicker and argue. The little boy is being a brat and made his sister cry. His father yells at him and makes him go to his room. Steph is not happy. She takes Kent to the kitchen to talk privately. She's upset because of how harshly Kent yelled at their son, but Kent is under a lot of pressure. It was his father we saw in the opening, and being here makes him feel like a failure. In his room, Jack plays with a tennis ball. Kent walks in and makes amends. He tells him that he shouldn't have yelled at him that way, but also that he should be nice to his sister. They hug and make up. At night, the family has dinner. When suddenly, a bright flash of light comes in through the window. The earth begins to shake and the house with it. They all huddle under the table to wait out the earthquake, but it ends just as quickly as it began. The little boy says he saw a light outside, but Kent says that it was probably a power generator. Later in the night, Steph and Kent are tucking the kids in. They are a loving, happy family. But the power suddenly goes out. The parents use their cell phones to illuminate their surroundings and go to comfort their scared children. Gabby says that she saw monsters in the dark, but her father reassures her. When Kent leaves, she looks around the room one last time to be safe. She sees an inhuman claw pressed against her window. Kent goes down to the fuse box to try and fix the issue. There is someone behind him. It looks like his father. But the ghost disappears as soon as the lights come back on. The next morning, the parents are having coffee when their son rushes in from outside. He says he was right, something did explode. He drags his father outside to see it. There's a huge, deep hole in the middle of the field. The father thinks it's an old well that was revealed when the earthquake struck. They throw down a stone to see how far the hole goes, but they never hear it clink. Kent brings out some plywood to plug the hole so the kids can play in the backyard safely. The pieces of wood quake and vibrate, but Kent thinks nothing of it. Inside, Gabby is playing dolls with an empty chair. She talks as if someone is sitting there. Steph walks in and asks her who she's playing with. She says that she's playing with her grandpa, the same one who died. Steph suddenly feels cold. And we see Gabby wave at the ghost of her grandpa. Only she can see him. Later, the family is having a game night. They ordered some pizza for everyone to enjoy. Everyone but Gabby goes to answer the door, and when they return, the game has been fiddled with. They can no longer play. They ask Gabby why she did this, but she says that it was Grandpa. Her mother is upset with her because she thinks it's a lie. She sends her off to bed. When Steph tucks Gabby in, she feels cold again. Jack is getting ready for bed. While brushing his teeth, he sees an evil-looking presence in the bathtub. It lunges at him, and he freaks out. Kent goes to check it out, but there is nothing there. They even try turning off the lights. But of course, nothing happens. The kids are all asleep now and Steph is reading a book. She thought she saw her son walking around, so she follows him. She wants to make sure he's in bed. She follows him into the bathroom, but he appears behind her. Apparently she woke him up by calling his name. It wasn't her son she was following. Kent shows up as well. He tries to calm everyone down, when suddenly they all hear a loud thud. Kent goes to the living room to investigate. The house has been turned upside down. It is as if a wild animal had been let loose. He picks something up to use as a weapon while he looks around. The kitchen lights are on, and he hears something. The front door is open, and he thinks it was a robber. They call the police. But the sheriff is unhelpful. He says that he can't file a report unless they find that something has been stolen from their home. The next day, the family has breakfast while Kent prepares to go to work. He gets in his car and leaves. But there appears to be something stalking the family. An evil spirit of sorts. It's even watching kids in the daylight. Back inside, the kids play hide and seek. Gabby always loses to her brother. She is much younger and doesn't know good places to hide. We see her talking to no one, but we know that it's the ghost of her grandfather that only she can see. He opens the attic door, and carries her up the ladder so she can hide better. Jack looks for her in the hall, in the bathroom, under the tables, but he can't find her. He frantically looks in the closet as he's more worried. Finally, he calls out to her. He says that the game is over, but she doesn't respond. Jack is scared. He tells his mother that Gabby is missing. She scolds him by saying that she's probably not coming out because he's always so mean to her. But Jack is worried if the robber that they thought broke into their house is back. This convinces Steph to go with her son to look for Gabby. While looking, the cabinets they're looking through suddenly slam themselves shut, and Steph starts getting very worried. They hear a noise from the attic, and they pull the ladder down. Steph climbs up the ladder, causing Gabby to shriek. Steph scolds her, but Gabby says that she was hiding from the monster. She seems really scared. She points at the mirror. Steph sees something in it too. Now the family is panicking. Steph rushes the kids down the stairs. Kent comes back from work, and Steph says she thinks she saw a demon. Kent tries to explain everything scientifically. He says that they are experiencing mass hysteria, and that the closets shut themselves because it is an old drafty house. It's night again, and the family eats dinner. Gabby brings up the monster again, but Kent snaps, saying that there is no monster. Steph looks at him discouragingly. Everyone's in their beds now, but Gabby can't sleep. She goes over to Jack's room so he can keep her company. He lets her in. He's becoming a good brother. The door slowly creaks open and the children look at it. Suddenly, Jack is lifted up in the air and the children scream. Kent rushes over, but the door slams shut. Kent breaks it open to see Jack floating in the air. He finally believes them about the ghost. The family quickly exit the house and get in the car. They drive to a hotel so that they spend the night away from the ghost. In the early morning, Steph is woken up from a horrible nightmare. She sees a grotesque, evil-looking creature hunched over the kids' bed, ready to devour them. Kent comforts her. But she's not so sure if they will make it out okay. Without explaining herself, Steph puts on her shoes and walks out. Kent follows her to check on her. He tells the kids to not let anyone in. They argue some more. Kent wants to move on and go back to work. But Steph is disappointed. Kent is always pragmatic, coming up with rational explanations. But Steph is tired of him acting like he knows everything. She wants him to hire a psychic. She believes Kent is not equipped to deal with supernatural things since he's a scientist. Later on the day, Kent takes a detour from work. One of his co-workers' grandmother is a psychic. She seems friendly and invites them inside. She even brings them some iced tea. And she's very cool. Apparently she's met Albert Einstein. Kent describes what happened that night, and she believes she can help the family. She can communicate with spirits and help them accept their death. Kent says that he believes it is his father's ghost, because his father was an awful person in life. And he thinks that death made him nastier. Kent, his co-worker, and the psychic grandmother all go back to Kent's home. Gabby is afraid, but the grandma reassures her. Suddenly, she hears a gunshot and her knees buckle. It's the gunshot from the beginning of the movie. She can feel strong energy from the spot from which Kent's father pulled the trigger. Kent leads the grandmother up to Jack's room, where the ghost was most violent. She steps in and ominously looks around. She picks up a piece of cloth from the closet. She coughs, and begins to wheeze. She says she's never felt energies like this before. Kent leads her towards another room, but she stops in the hall. She senses something profoundly evil in the mirror, different to Kent's father. She turns the mirror around. It's dark out now, and they all sit on the floor. There are lit candles on the table everywhere. Gabby tells the psychic that she has seen the ghost often. And that he's friendly and plays with Gabby. The psychic asks Gabby to try and call for him to come out. The ghost appears, and the psychic grandma can see him. She looks at the ceiling and growls. She makes strange noises and suddenly stands upright. She tells them all to get out, or die, with a voice that is not her own. The house shakes and things fall from the shelves. The grandma snaps out of it. She says that that was not Kent's father. He simply showed her the evil that was haunting the house. It is not human. It is the alien-like creature Steph saw at the hotel. The psychic grandma screams and the alien ghost begins attacking everyone. It wants a human body to possess so that it can wreak havoc with reckless abandon. The psychic grandma's body twists and contorts until she dies. The alien ghost drags Jack to the basement and locks the door. But the coworker knows self-defense, and he shoots the lock off of the door. Kent asks his friend what he has planned, and he ominously hints that he's going to shoot Jack so that the alien can't get a body. Kent tries to wrestle the gun away, but he gets shot. He crawls against the floor while his coworker approaches Jack, who is now fully under the demon's control. Demon Jack fights off the coworker and walks past his father and up the stairs. Kent crawls towards the gun. Steph tries to talk to Jack, but he shoves her away with psychic powers. Gabby comes up from behind and hits Jack over the head with a blunt object. Steph carries Jack's unconscious body, and Kent comes limping in. Kent reluctantly agrees that Jack must now die. The alien is far too powerful. He points the gun at his son, but the psychic starts shaking. She turns into Kent's father. He is now possessing her. The ghost tells his son not to shoot Jack. He is regretful for how he was in life, and as recompense, he will help his son's family. He approaches Jack and forces the evil spirit out of him. The two ghosts wrestle, which causes a portal to open outside the house. The ghost and the evil alien spirit are both sucked into the portal, and vanish into the afterlife. Steph checks back on Jack. It seems that he is not breathing. Kent starts doing CPR. The coworker comes back, ready for action. But Kent tells him it's all over. The commotion causes Jack to wake up. Everyone is relieved that it's all finally over. The movie ends with the family out on the porch. It's a beautiful day. But they are still recovering from their injuries. Suddenly, they notice Gabby has gone missing. They go out to the yard and see her floating over the giant hole. Her eyes are glowing red. Suddenly, a UFO shoots out from the hole and she flies away inside it.